Hey there guys, and welcome. This is another studio segment for Airgun Expo. That's what it is, Airgun Expo 21. Forgive me, it's been a long day.
You've said that a lot of times today.
I have said it. You would figure that I would have it down pat. Angie, how's your day been today?
Pretty awesome.
What did you like?
Been fun.
Well, we'll save that.
Don't
Let's save that for later. Right now, we're here to talk about Gamo air guns, specifically the swarm guns. But before we do that, we got a wind shear coming through. But before we do that, I want to thank our sponsors. We have Gateway to Airguns, which really big part of making all this happen. If you want to know more about air guns, if you're new or old to the sport and want to hang out with some great airgun folks, www.gatewaytoairguns.org. And also Airguns of Arizona, which is a main event sponsor for this event. So thank you to all of those guys. Airguns of Arizona is www.airgunsofarizona.com. So this episode here is brought to you by Gamo USA, and they have some killer brake barrels.
Oh, yeah.
And some killer PCPs too. Mm-hmm. They have something that really other people have tried. They just haven't done it nearly as well as Gamo has done it, and that is to put a magazine feeding system on a brake barrel air gun. So I don't have a regular brake barrel up here because why would you when you have this? But in the old day, you would cock the gun, get it all the way hanging down, grab a pellet, stuff it in. You want to shoot again, you'd go through that same process, well, every time you want to shoot.
Hopefully you load it perfectly with the skirt behind in the back and not in the front.
Yes, but you know, at night that may actually happen. But anyway, in the dark, trying to chase something around the yard. But they came out a few years ago, the Swarm system, and basically what we have is a 10-shot magazine, and that drops just like that. And now when I cock this gun, there's a little pellet pusher that pushes the pellet into the breech, and it has, I said, 10-shot, and it's got a number right on the top. So it's easy to track how many shots you got going.
Yep.
And you just got pellets on tap. If you want to take more shots, if you have a pocket full of pellets, or a pocket full of magazines, you're good to go.
Pop it out and put another one in.
Yeah, it's rapid, rapid, rapid. So if you like to hunt tree squirrels, or we call them tree rats, if you want to hunt squirrels or iguanas, I would imagine these would be phenomenal for iguana hunts, all that kind of stuff. Or just plink in the backyard to see how fast you can knock down all the targets. The Swarm system does just a better job than every other system I have tested, just period. Angie, I know you like it for the same reason. Is there anything else you love about the Swarm that I missed?
I don't know, Rick.
Okay, well, and I'm just keep talking.
Well, I know there are a lot of brake barrels. These are actually pretty light generally, and
Yep.
that's important to me. I use these squirrel hunting. I mean, we went to the Gamo Squirrel Master Classic.
Yep.
It was awesome, and I had the Maxim.
Yep.
Others had the Magnum, but that's a two-hander for me, so I had the Maxim. But it's super light just to carry it around the woods for hours.
Yep.
No big deal at all. And like you said, have the extra mags on hand. You're finished with one, you pop another one in. I mean, the squirrels aren't going anywhere.
It is awesome. I do love that part about it. Now, they have had some generational changes. So we've done the basic Swarm, then we have the Swarm Fusion 10X Gen 2, and then they've actually adopted that system over it. Now, the big difference you're going to see is if you notice this right here, there are no open sights.
Right.
Okay, so the original Swarm system had a magazine that dropped in like this, and when you cocked the gun, it stayed in this position. It just dropped in front of the breech, and the pellet pusher pushed the pellet in. Well, that did mean that you lost your open sights. And Gamo had always been known to have some really good open sights. I don't know if you've ever used their True Glow sights, but I always found them to be really, really good.
I have, because I generally shoot the gun open-sighted before I mount a scope.
All right, so that was awesome to have the open sights. Mm-hmm. When you went to this, you lost them. Now they went, here, I'll trade you to the Fusion. Let's do that. Your favorite gun you have there. So this is the Fusion. They brought back the open sights, but in order to do that, they had to create a way for the magazine to lay flat. Okay, hand me one of those mags, would you? And this is empty. Drop that in here like this. Now when I cock this, that mag rotates into that vertical position, and then that lines it up for the pellet pusher to drive the pellet into the breech. So you have that action going on. There you go. And now that gave you back your open sights, and it also reduced, this has got some pretty tall rings to have the clearance there. It got this at a more traditional height as well. So all of that was way better. Then they came out with the Magnum. And I got to tell you, the Magnum's one of my favorite guns just because of the sheer power it puts out. And of course, power without accuracy is sort of worthless. It has some great accuracy too. It's a 50-yard gun and a break barrel. And now you have a 50-yard break barrel that's multi-shot.
Yep.
So we're talking, up to, depending on what pellets you're running, 25, 26, 27 foot-pounds. That's a lot of energy. The guys are out there playing with their air guns. That's a lot of energy to have on tap. Is just a lot in a break barrel, for sure.
Yeah, my son claimed the one I have, the Magnum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little E?
Yep, he says, that's my gun, Mom.
Now, what they've done, and we were playing with this today, and I didn't have all the details, but we've done a little more testing from our shooting session this morning to this afternoon. And I noticed something because we were shooting the Magnum, we shot the Fusion, and we shot the new Bone Collector, second generation, Gen 2, whatever. And I thought, wow, that's doing more power than I remember.
We shot them each over the Crony.
And this was doing like 680-ish or 675-ish. And this one was doing 750. And this was doing like 850, 860. Now we were shooting the 14.5.
Red Fires.
Thank you, the 14.5 Red Fires. And again, these are all 22 caliber. So when you start looking at those velocities and then you start doing the math, we got like 13 foot-pounds, 18 foot-pounds, 23, 24 foot-pounds.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. Now I remember the old Hunter, Bone Collector, excuse me, the old Bone Collector, brain went sideways. The old Bone Collector did what for energy? You shot it a little bit ago. About 600, okay, and that is, we didn't do the math, but that's probably 12, 13 foot-pounds in that area?
Yeah, maybe a little less.
It does. I was like, gosh, I don't remember it shooting that hard. But you saw it immediately. You said, that gun's different.
It's my favorite gun.
It is.
I know this gun.
And she picked this up. This one's different, and she's right. It's thicker. It's meatier. The stock is beefier. It's actually, I think, a higher end gun.
Oh yeah.
Than the original Bone Collector. And what I believe where we've got the differences here is I haven't pulled out my micrometers, but I think they put a bigger air cylinder in this, or a compression cylinder. Now, when you do that, you can actually have the same RAM, but because you have more volume, you're going to get more energy. Okay, so this has limited volume, smaller compression tube. I'm pretty sure, and believe me, I know you guys will correct me if I'm wrong, but just looking at it, this looks at least a few mils bigger.
I agree.
And at that point, you've got more volume. That's where you're getting your more energy. But what they didn't go up in was the cocking force. It's still super easy to cock. Yeah. So it's easier to cock, more power. And this is what you get out of the box. You get the scope, you get the magazine. We'll talk about the difference in the magazines here in a minute. But I shot this today and was like, okay, I see what they did here. This is pretty impressive. Just a really solid sporting break barrel. Love it very, very much. So.
Well, and at 20 yards, we were hitting the K9 outdoor targets every time.
Right. It was very, very cool. So the magazines, they do have some different magazines. The old magazine, which is this one, is here. Here you go. That just drops in. So the new magazines they have two different kinds that work with the Gen 2. They have their standard, just regular mag, which actually has a spring in it. So you load your pellet, and you kind of manually rotate it to the hole. You drop your pellet in, and every time you drop into the pellet in, that's where it stops. Your pellet becomes your mag stop.
Yep.
So when you shoot it, it pushes the pellet pusher through the hole, then it flips to the next pellet. So you're ready, but you have that potential of double feeding. Okay, you actually did a video showing what happens if you do that.
Yeah, the pellets split off and they go in completely different
And
directions.
it can mess up your guns. You don't want to do that. Now, they came out with the inertia-driven mag, which has an advancing system. So it's got a ratcheting system, and it will not advance until it feels the recoil of the rifle. So you can't double feed. Even if you cock it again by accident, you're not going to double feed your gun, which is very cool. And if for whatever reason Gets a little grime in there. We're very dusty out here. If you guys that have visited us this week know exactly how dusty we are. This can get a little kind of gritty, so I'll use silicone oil when I need to get it to free up again. But if it doesn't, I just bump my little button there, and it switches right over. So you're not without the ability to shoot regardless, but you have that added level of safety so that you can potentially not double feed your gun. That is, to me, very cool. But Gamo has more than the Swarm. They have some other great products. I got one right there, and that one is brand new. I haven't really done much with it yet.
I have, not that one.
Well, you have shot a ton with the Urban. I actually kind of deciding what I want to put on it. I don't know what scope I want to go, because for such an inexpensive gun, and we're talking very, very affordable. I think some of the last pricing I saw, and maybe Sue can pull it up on GamoUSA.com, is going to be in the $300 area, but maybe even less.
I think it's under 4, I'm not sure.
It's definitely under 4. That I know for sure. We have a question. Yes, Sue?
Do they still have the Squirrel Master Classics, and are you going to compete?
You know, they had it last year. They didn't have it this year. I don't know. I would love them to have an Iguana Master Classic, frankly.
That would be awesome.
I think that would be the kicker. If they could do something with iguanas, I think that would be, and I hate to, maybe have to fly to Puerto Rico just because it's hot. I remember going one time on an iguana hunt, and I asked them, so when does it cool off down here? They sort of laughed at me. This is cool. I'm like, okay then.
But not in place of the Squirrel Master Classic, because that's a blast. That's so much fun.
I don't know. I'm sour on the Squirrel Master Classic, if I'm going to be honest. You have so many years you lose by 1 point, you go, oh, man, that's tough. That's a tough one.
I just
tough
like
to
the
take.
experience, going out there shooting squirrels.
It is fun.
Yeah, and with dogs, that was my first time doing that, and it's a blast.
Yeah, it is a blast. I would imagine it's a big deal for them, more so because it's really about the children, the kids, the 4-H shooters that come out. And it's a really reward for them for doing so well. And so I would imagine they'll keep doing it, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out. And if they invited me, I would absolutely go. So I'll still run around the woods. I know Angie will be there. She'll probably show up early. And what we all do is really show up early and go do some scouting, because those guys that live there really seem to know where to get 30 and 40 squirrels in an afternoon. That's where I start wondering where the shenanigans are going on, because we see 12 and come back with 10, and they're coming back with 40. I go, I'm not sure, fellas. I don't know. Yes, Sue?
Do they have iguana hunts in Florida?
Well, there are iguanas that you can hunt in Florida. I don't know if any organized hunts there, but yes, there are, or iguanas are becoming a real problem there. Mm-hmm. Southern Florida, when it got really cold in Florida, it rained iguanas because they were cold-blooded. They couldn't take it. So, I think the Swarms would be great for that kind of application. Rapid fire. You don't need to hunt PCP air. And people have asked me, what do I do for an air gun? And they want to go PCP. Let's say they want to go PCP. All right, so the gun's going to be, let's just say they go with an affordable gun at $400.
Yeah, like the Urban.
That's going to be way less than $400. But let's say $350. Then they need a way to fill it. So let's just say they go with an affordable filling hand pump at $100, and you can get them for a lot more and some less. So now we're at $450. Now you still need a scope. Now it does come with an optic. Let's just say they stick with a scope. They're $450. All right. You have to hand pump it, which you love doing. I know you. That's part of your exercise regimen. No, she's saying no. And so you're into, say, $450, and you've got a lot of work every time you want to go to a hunt or go shoot anything. Or you take something. I think this would be a great example of 18 foot-pounds.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what this price point is, but it's probably less than $300, I'm guessing. And we're going to be doing really good power, really good accuracy, and pretty dynamite little gun.
Yep.
So.
And 10-shot mag. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great triggers on the guns. I mean, they're not fully adjustable, but they do have some adjustment. I have no issue with the triggers. I think they have a decent pull. They're not real heavy, super smooth, and they're very predictable break. So I got no issues there. The safety, I'm glad the safety is not automatic. I go back and forth on that. Some guns I like an automatic safety, but a gun like this I can remember to go.
Yeah,
Click.
I'm not one for an automatic safety.
You prefer?
Yeah, because you get used to it automatically doing it for you, and then you get a gun that's not automatic, and
Yeah.
So I prefer a manual safety.
Okay. Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up. If you want to know more about Gamo products, it's really easy. www.gamousa.com. They have a ton of great stuff. And remember, it's not just Gamo, it's Gamo Daisy. So if you have youngsters that want to get into shooting, nothing is better than a little Daisy rifle. They learn great control. They learn proper discipline as far as shooting rules and safety guidelines. Just a great way to get youngsters into the sport. And then you can walk them up to this level, and then you can walk them up to the next level and the next level and so forth. So from toddler to retirement, Daisy Gamo have the scope. I don't know of another company that has that depth on the bench of guns that can just take you from the very most basic to the to the extreme. So they have a huge line of products, including pistols and other things too. So just a great company. Go take a look at their stuff. www.gamousa.com. And thank you for watching Airgun Expo. Angie, we have a question?
No, don't forget to tell them about tonight's open.
Yes. Yeah. I was going to get to that. Thank you. Sue was just reminding me we have tonight. What did you think of last night's roundtable?
I thought it was fun. I learned a lot myself.
The roundtable is a cool thing. I really enjoy doing that. It's maybe not the most popular because we're not blowing something up, but I love it. I love talking to you guys out there, fielding questions and.
Well, like you said, there's a lot of experience sitting at that table,
There
ready
is.
and available for all of you out there who have questions
Yeah.
to be answered.
Absolutely. So we're going to do that again tonight, starting at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. We have our first segment, and we're going to do it on YouTube. And we may switch over everything to Facebook tomorrow. I'm still determining how that's going to work out. That'll be a topic for tonight. We can talk about it. There you go. But tonight, besides our daily wrap, we're also going to have Pyramid Air in the house. So definitely join us for that. So we should have Tyler, which I haven't talked to Tyler in a while. It'll be pretty cool. Guys, that's it. My name is Rick Utzer here with Airgun Web for the Airgun Expo.
I'm Airgun Angie.
See you guys.
Bye.